Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. You're gonna hear some baby toys in the background. I'm in my son's room. So the video today is gonna be my birth story. I'm finally gonna sit down and talk to you guys about my birth story. Hey! He wants to be seen so bad, but he's not going to be. You can just hear him. Yeah, you're gonna hear him coughing and stuff. My baby's been sick. I know I said that in the last vlog. Saw his pediatrician. Nothing we can really do. Fun fact, just learned this today. I already knew that there was limited medicine for kids his age, but if they're 2 and under, there's really no cough suppressants that they can give them. And you don't really want to be giving medications to them while they're so young. That's why it's imperative that you protect your baby. Try to have vitamins, build their immune system. You can breastfeed, immunizations. Just protect them, because when they're that young, there's not much intervention that they can do except for supportive. And you don't want to expose them to all these medications at such a young age, because it develops allergies and it develops resistance once they get older. So just a little health fact out there for you guys. But yeah, so into my birth story. I'm gonna start from when I was pregnant to after, to my labor, and then a little bit afterwards. I'm trying to keep my videos under like 10 minutes now, just to keep you guys interested and not bored, until I get so I start picking up and getting more fan base and more day in the life and stuff like that. So bear with me if this one's a little bit long, because yeah. So I was on birth control. Yes, I was pregnant off of birth control, which isn't the first time. My current boyfriend in college, I think sophomore year, I had actually gotten pregnant before, but I had a miscarriage. It was, I forgot what they called it, but I forgot what they called it. But it was an early miscarriage, which miscarriages are also called spontaneous abortions. Just in case you guys didn't know. So my period comes on time all the time. Like, I don't miss a day. And it was the weekend, and I was looking for apartments here in Dallas, because I had decided I wasn't going to PA school yet. And the whole point of me moving back home was to go to PA school here in Dallas and save some money while I stayed at home. Well, I went out looking for apartments, and my period was supposed to start that Thursday. I was like, okay, this is awkward. I'm just gonna go ahead and go the weekend. If I don't have it on Monday, I'm gonna take a test. Woke up that morning, took a test. That bad boy said pregnant. I was like, oh shit. So I called my OB's office, who had recently seen for a routine pap smear, and told them. So I went and did the blood work, which confirmed I was pregnant, and set up my first appointment, which I had to be 8 weeks for. And I think I was only 4 weeks, because I had 4 weeks from my previous period, so I was only 4 weeks pregnant by then. And so I hadn't told my boyfriend yet. When I was talking to some of my coworkers, one girl was already pregnant, and then there was another older lady who I consider like my second mom at work. And I told her, I was like, I just found out I'm pregnant. I said, but I'm gonna wait to tell my boyfriend. I said, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the first, mom duties. So I was like, I think I'm gonna wait until after my first appointment to tell him, because I don't want to tell him, and if I have another miscarriage or anything like that, I don't want to freak him out or get him worked up. And she's like, no, definitely tell him. You need a supportive person. And I was just like, okay. And so I told him, I was like, hey, sorry, I had to stop my video because my child was crawling to my drink. And so I was like, hey, can you come over? Just I want to talk to you about something. And he surprised me with sushi. Love sushi, y'all. And so I was like, babe, I got something to tell you. He goes, what? I was like, I got something to tell you. And I still have my pregnancy test. It was a digital clear blue, so it says pregnant. I can't stand trying to read those lines. I'm just like, I don't have time for that. And I gave it to him. He was like, oh shit. I was all like, I know. He was just like, oh my God. I was like, I know. He goes, did you take your pills? And I was like, yeah, but the thing about it is, I would miss a couple days. I wasn't the greatest at taking my birth control pills, which, y'all, my dog spraying out of here so quick. So when I open that door, But yes, so he was just like, all right, we're gonna have to make it work. I was like, you're right. So for my first appointment, his mom came with me, and we did the little ultrasound, and we saw my little baby. Ow, get off me. Yeah, my child just pulled my hair because he was trying to stand up on me. So we had the ultrasound. My pregnancy was pretty easy. No symptoms in the first trimester, which paranoid me. With you having a miscarriage in the past, I was very paranoid about having another one. Yes, he loves to pull my hair, which is why I don't really wear it down ever. I didn't have any symptoms. I threw up twice, which was my prenatal vitamins. I had to change to a different brand. And then breast tenderness. But that was about it. And I was paranoid because I didn't have any symptoms. So the only reason I knew I was pregnant was because I didn't have a period. So I went and bought a fetal heart Doppler just to make sure everything was on. So I bought a fetal heart Doppler to make sure everything was okay with him. And another thing that I had was I had an anterior placenta. And if you guys don't know what that means, that just means that your placenta is in the front of the stomach, mainly where you feel all the baby's movements. And because I had an anterior placenta, I didn't feel his movements hardly ever. But there would be spurts every now and then. After I finished my workouts, I could definitely feel him most of the time. My pregnancy was very easy, y'all. I only gained 25 pounds, which was my goal. I've lost all that weight and some extra. My pre-pregnancy weight, I believe, was 152. I was 172 when I had him. No, 175. Right, somewhere around there. And then right now, he's 7 months. I am actually 149. I haven't been 149 in forever, so I'm actually really happy. I had a C-section. It was not planned whatsoever, but only gained 25 pounds. I did work out throughout my whole pregnancy. He was 5 days late. I still worked out when he was 5 days late. I think the last 3 or 4 weeks into my pregnancy, I walked 2 miles every day. So you can be healthy in your pregnancy and you can work out in your pregnancy. And the myth is if you have a lot of heartburn, your baby has a lot of hair. False. My child had a full head of hair. Everybody talked about his freaking hair this day since he got out of the womb. And I didn't have any heartburn. Another girl that I know had a lot of heartburn. Her baby was bald. So, no true in that myth. What's something else that happened in my pregnancy? It was pretty easy and great. So, what I say? He was 5 days late. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, he need to come home. I tried 6. I tried working out. Okay, so tried all that. It didn't work. The day before I went to the hospital when I went in labor, I was at work and I was walking around the building because I walked around the building twice every day at work. And my stomach was, tightening and then relaxing, and it was basically a contraction, but my water hadn't broken. And so I went to talk to some of my friends. I was like, "Hey, this is what I'm feeling." She goes, "Kiana, you're in labor. You need to go to the hospital." I was like, "I'm okay. I'm gonna finish the workout. Finish the work day out, and then if I feel like, I'm in labor, I'll go to the hospital." So finish the work. So I've been all day at work, and also at work, I'm not sitting in a regular chair. I'm sitting on a blow-up yoga ball. Helped out a lot, bouncing on it. And so I went to the labor and delivery emergency room, and they're like, "Yeah, you're having some contractions, but they're not consistent, and they're not big enough for us if I was in labor." So it's like, they're like, go home and then come back if they're 5 minutes apart, more painful, and if my water breaks. Okay, I went home. My boyfriend stayed the night. And that morning, maybe like at 3 in the morning, I felt like a pain. But I'm so stubborn. I was like, I'm not getting up. I said, this is painful, but I was like, I'm not getting up and going to the bathroom or moving. I woke up, felt it, went right back to sleep. So just like, I'm not doing this. Woke up to get ready for work in the morning, and I went to go pee, and I'm just peeing normal. Well, my water broke while I was peeing, and I didn't realize it. And let me tell you guys, as soon as my water broke, that pain came, and it was intense. They're like, you'll know a contraction when you feel it. I was having contractions and I didn't know. But your water break contractions, oh, yeah, those are intense. And so I was like, ooh, I was like, what is this? And I was having meconium come out of me, but I didn't know what it was. And if you don't know what meconium is, that means that the baby has pooped in, my mind's going blank, has pooped in the umbilical sac, and he can basically inhale it, and that can be very dangerous to them. So I had meconium coming out of me, and I had called his mom. I was like, hey, I'm experiencing these things. And I started timing my contractions, which I didn't know were contractions at the time. And I'm all like breathing. I'm like, whoo, boyfriend's still asleep. He hasn't gotten up for work yet. I went and told my mom, and she goes, yeah, you're in labor. And his mom was like, Ken, I think your water broke. I was like, I don't think so. My water definitely broke. I got in the bathtub because my plan was to have a natural birth. No epidural, no nothing. I wanted to be all natural, but I also wanted to labor in the pool. And my hospital didn't have the pool system set up yet by the time I went into labor. So I was at home in my bathtub. And, you know, the pain was intense when it came. And my contractions were less than 5 minutes apart. But I was like nowhere near for him coming out. But they were less than 5 minutes apart. And intense, lasting for about a minute. And so I was just like breathing through it. The water helped out a lot, and I was trying to relax. But every time, like if I would push or do something, fluid come out. Basically the fluid coming out because my water broke. But on top of the fluid, it was the meconium coming out. And that's what freaked me out. And I know the dangers of meconium, so I didn't want to go to the hospital that soon, but I had told my boyfriend, I was like, you know what? We need to go to the hospital, because I said, this is freaking me out. And if this is what I think it is, I feel like I'm going to end up having to have an emergency C-section, which was my greatest fear of all time. So I get there, and I told the nurse, I was like, I think my water broke, and I'm leaking meconium. And she goes, well, how do you know it's meconium? I said, well, one, I know what it is because I know what it looks like. And I told her the color. She goes, well, meconium is usually not that color. I said, well, we'll just, you know, swab you and look at it. And so I was like, whatever, okay. Put me in a room. And I had asked if I can get some medicine because I'm sitting on this hard bed, holding still, can't move, can't do anything, which really sucks. And that's not going to help my pain. I wanted to move around. I wanted to squat, and I couldn't do any of that. And like I said, the pain's intense. She came back. She goes, yeah, you're water broken. You are, you know, leaking meconium. She confirmed my theory. I started bawling. And I was like, I'm terrified of having a C-section. And I said, I know that that's going to happen. And she said, it doesn't always necessarily mean that. She said, so it's okay. Calm down and relax. I was like, okay. Called his mom, called my mom. I get admitted upstairs, and they gave me a medicine, but I don't want to say it was pain medicine. It just makes you sleepy, which if I did this again, I wouldn't ask for that. I would ask for a pain medicine, not a medicine that's going to make me drowsy, because I was so sleepy the whole time. That stuff was strong, and I only had 1 dose of it. And I don't really like it because it kind of took away my experience from everything. So that kind of upset me too. And I still felt the contractions in my sleep. So they were checking me. I would dilate. So we're like 4 or 5 hours into this. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to put a peanut ball on you to help you dilate more. I said, okay. They put the peanut ball on me. And I had to switch sides. And they're like, okay, well, we want to start Pitocin because you're not dilating more. I heard about Pitocin contractions. I said, that stuff is very painful. So they did the epidural. Pitocin was on for 5 minutes, y'all. 5 freaking minutes. I was so disappointed. My son wasn't tolerating it well, and it was dropping his heart rate, so they turned it off. And I was just like, if I would have known y'all were gonna do for 5 minutes, I wouldn't have gotten the epidural. The epidural was on its lowest possible dose. Anything lower than that, they would have to turn it off. And I don't like the way that it made me feel. I felt itchy. I was shaking. I just don't like how it made me feel. My legs were like super numb. I didn't like how it made me feel. So I was like, can we lower it? She goes, well, it's on the lowest we can go. And I guess apparently with your epidural, you're not supposed to be able to like really move your body. I could still move my legs. They were like, well, let us help you turn. I was like, no, I started feeling. I said, I can turn myself. They're like, what? So I would rotate myself on my side, and I almost told them to turn it off because I did not like the way it made me feel. So we are 13 hours into my labor. I was getting a low-grade fever. It was like 99 point something. My urine, I had to have a catheter, was bright red blood now. And I was no longer dilating. They said, actually, I had moved backwards. I was at a 9, an 8 or a 9, one of those. And then I went back to a 7. And they said my cervix looked inflamed a little bit. And then they said my son had not dropped yet. So they said they were worried and they wanted to do a C-section. She came in there and told me that. I started bawling, like crying hard. Because I had the perfect pregnancy year to come in here and tell me you want to do a C-section. I was like, most women are in labor for 24 hours. I'm in here and I've only been in labor for like 13 hours. And we're giving up so easy. I was like, this is crap. And I was upset. And she was like, I can give you another hour. She says, I don't want this to turn into an emergency type of thing. I was like, give me an hour. I'm in there crying. Everybody's trying to, Kiana, it's okay, trying to keep me level-headed and relaxed. I'm not here for it. So an hour comes, nothing changes. Still out of 7. I'm 100% aphased though. I had been aphased, 100% aphased the whole time. And they're like, okay, well, we should really go ahead and do the C-section. And my OB was like, are you ready? I was like, I don't have no choice. Like, am I ready? I don't have a choice. And so they're like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. She said, you do have a very high chance of a VBAC, which is a vaginal delivery after having a C-section. I just thought like, whatever, let's just get this over with. So they take me back in the room and get me draped and everything. And I told them, I said, I want to do delayed cord clamping and all that. So we start, and I can feel stuff. I told the anesthesiologist, I was like, hey, am I supposed to feel that? He goes, yeah, you're going to feel a little bit something. I'm like, okay. They like push on something and burst and pull. I don't know what they did because I couldn't see. I wish I could have seen it. And I'm like, I jumped and I moved. And he goes, oh my God, you can feel that? I said, yes, I can feel that. He had to give me more medicine so I wouldn't feel what they were doing down there. I was like, oh Lord, that shit was painful too, y'all. So they did that, got my baby out. I didn't hear crying. And they're like, okay, Kiana, we have to cut the cord because they need to work on your son because he had inhaled siliconium, which is what I was worried about. So they take him over, which we actually have a video. He was not breathing when he first came out. I swear it felt like the longest 2 minutes of my life. Not 2 minutes. 30 seconds. I don't know how long it happened, but I'm just laying there and I'm like, somebody tell me what's going on. Anesthesiologist is the only one that's kind of communicating with me at this point. But he wasn't breathing. They had to go and suction out the fluid that he had inhaled and the meconium. And in the video that we have of it, he was just, I forgot what it's called, but he was just so still. He wasn't pink. You can tell he wasn't breathing. So once they got him pinked up and everything, he started breathing fine. Which normally if this happens, a baby has to go to the ICU. So I told them, I said, I really only wanted him breastfed only, but I guess if you have to give him formula, that's okay. They're like, well, Mom, we have donated milk. I was like, okay, because I I already knew in my head, I was all like, he's probably going to have to go to the ICU, like the NICU. And I was prepared for that, because if a baby comes out not breathing and they have to do stuff like that, they normally have to go to the NICU. My son did not have to go to the NICU. They got him all together. He started peeing. They were finishing up with me, still working on me. They had escorted my boyfriend out to go back to our family room, and that's when I got to see my son. We did skin to skin contact. I hate that we didn't get to do delayed cord clamping, but it's okay because it was an emergent type of situation. Everything was good after that. And they're like, okay, well, we're gonna give you pain medicine. I said, no, I don't like pain medicine. And the anesthesiologist had came in and talked to me before. He goes, you know, we can give you some Dilaudid, we can give you some of this, some of that, some morphine. I was like, not Halidol, Tramadol. I was all like, I'm not doing Dilaudid. And he just looked at me. I said, no. I said, too many crackheads come in the ER for that stuff. I said, I'm terrified of getting hooked on pain medicine. So I was like, I don't want that. And he looked at me like he'd never heard anybody say that before and started laughing. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I just know. And I said, I'm not doing Tramadol either. I'm not doing any narcotics. So the nurse came in. She goes like, hey, well, you have a dose of Tramadol. I was like, I'm not taking that. She looked at me. She goes, I said, no, I'm not taking that. She goes, well, you can't deny it. I said, yes, I can. She goes, I don't think it's PRN. I said, go talk to the doctor. I said, I'm not taking it. And she goes, okay. And I didn't take it. I'm not taking it. And they're like, okay, well, we also have ibuprofen 800 milligrams. I said, I can do ibuprofen. That's fine. I think I had maybe 1 or 2 doses the whole 2 days I was in the hospital. I said, so how quick can I get out of here? I asked the nurse. She goes, well, you got to get up. You got to show that you can pee after they take the catheter out. And I got to poop and pass gas. I said, oh, I can do that. I can do that. And if anybody knows me, they know if I set my mind to it, I'm going to get it done. I'm a very determined person. So I was like, can I shower now? They're like, yeah. I got up and walked. Yes, I was walking. I was walking the halls the day after my surgery because I wanted to leave. I peed. I sat on the toilet for like 10 minutes. I was like, I'm going to pee. We going to pee. Peed. And then I passed gas. I was like, I'm not an everyday pooper. So I was like, I knew I wasn't going to poop while I was there. I said, I promise I'm going to poop, but I'm not going to poop here. I said, I don't poop every day. I was up. I was walking the halls the day after my C-section with no pain medicine so I can leave the hospital. So that's what I did. I didn't want to just sit still and be stagnant. And I also don't like to depend on other people. So that's another thing why I was up and moving around. The nurse was like, girl, you're a warrior. I was like, thank you. My boyfriend left to go handle some business, and he came back and he bought me this ring, a James Avery K, which stands for me and my son's name, the first initial of our name. And he goes, babe, you're such a warrior. I know you didn't plan for this. And he goes, this is really scary for both of us. And he goes, I guess he fell more in love with me with having our son. He said it was a different experience, and it brought us closer, honestly. So that was my labor and delivery story. Well, I'm going to end this vlog here because someone's getting tired. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like my videos. Make sure you follow me on social media too. Y'all have a great day.